Every single night, you live an entire life that you'll never remember. You are flying, you are drowning, you are being chased through a forest made of your childhood home. And when you wake up, it's gone. Completely gone. You might catch a fragment, a feeling, a color, a name, but within minutes, it vanishes like water through open fingers. This happens to you roughly 1,460 times per year. That's 4 to 6 complete dream narratives every single night, and you retain almost none of them. But here's what's strange. Your brain is desperately trying to save every single one. When you close your eyes and sleep, you're not shutting down. You're switching into a different operating system. About 90 minutes after you fall asleep, your brain enters a state called REM sleep, rapid eye movement. Your eyes dart back and forth behind closed lids. Your face twitches. Your fingers twitch. This is the only time during sleep when you dream vividly. The rest of your sleep is quieter. It's called non-REM sleep, and very little dreaming happens there. But REM sleep is where your brain goes wild. During REM sleep, something extraordinary happens inside your skull. The visual cortex lights up like fireworks. The motor cortex activates, preparing your muscles to move, except they can't. You're paralyzed. Your brain has disconnected the signals that would make you jump out of bed and act out your dreams. The limbic system, which generates emotions, is absolutely firing. You feel fear, joy, confusion, passion, all while your body lies motionless. And your prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for logic and reason, dims dramatically. This is why your dreams don't follow rules. A staircase can become an ocean. Your childhood best friend has your mother's face. Nothing makes sense, and you don't question any of it in the moment. This is the stage where memory should be born. Your brain is creating new neural connections, processing emotions, storing information. But there's a problem, a critical problem. Right now, while you're dreaming, your brain is producing almost no norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is a chemical, a neurotransmitter, that acts like a tag. It marks memories as important. It's the chemical equivalent of highlighting text. Norepinephrine says to your brain, remember this. Hold on to this. Make this stick. During waking hours, your brain floods with norepinephrine. Every sound, every sight, every threat and discovery is tagged. Save this. But during REM sleep, norepinephrine drops to almost zero. Scientists discovered this through a series of groundbreaking studies. Thore Nielsen, a dream researcher at the University of Montreal, conducted experiments where he woke participants at different stages of sleep and asked them to recall their dreams. When he woke them during REM sleep, while they were actively dreaming, they could recount their dreams in vivid detail. But when he woke them just 10 minutes after REM sleep ended, recall plummeted. The dream was already evaporating. He concluded that without the chemical marking system, the memory of the dream was never encoded into your long-term memory in the first place. Your brain created the dream, but never filed it away. But why does your brain bother to dream at all if it's going to forget immediately afterward? This is where the real mystery deepens. Your brain isn't trying to remember the dream. Your brain is trying to remember everything the dream processes. During REM sleep, your brain is essentially running a simulation. It's taking everything you've learned that day, the conversation with your boss, the argument with your partner, the new route you took to work, and it's running it through an emotional processor. It's stripping away the unnecessary details and consolidating the essential information, the emotions, the relationships, the patterns. A landmark study by Matthew Walker at UC Berkeley used brain imaging to show exactly how this works. He watched as participants slept, tracked their REM cycles, and then tested their memory the next morning. The participants whose brains spent more time in REM sleep showed stronger memory consolidation for emotional and social information. They remembered the meaning of what happened, even if they didn't remember the dream itself. Walker concluded that the dream isn't the goal. The memory consolidation is the goal. The dream is just the process. It's the machinery working, the gears turning, the code running. You don't need to remember that your computer was processing overnight. You just need the results in the morning. Here's what makes this even stranger. Your brain knows it's going to forget. There are specific neurotransmitters that seem to inhibit dream recall on purpose. It's almost as if your brain is saying, "We need this processing to happen, but we don't need you conscious of it. We don't need you remembering every surreal narrative. That would clutter your mind. Instead, your brain performs the emotional and memory work while keeping you in the dark about the actual content." Some researchers theorize that this built-in forgetting mechanism is actually adaptive. Imagine if you remembered every dream vividly. Your mind would be flooded with false memories, surreal experiences, and chaotic narratives alongside your real memories. There would be no distinction between what actually happened and what your sleeping brain imagined. The forgetting isn't a failure. It's a feature. Your brain is preventing you from confusing the simulation with reality. But sometimes, under certain conditions, you do remember your dreams. If you wake up in the middle of a REM cycle, you've interrupted the process. Norepinephrine hasn't fully recovered yet. The dream is still fresh. You catch it. You remember vivid details. This is why you're more likely to remember dreams if you set an alarm, if you sleep fitfully, if you wake repeatedly during the night. You're catching your brain mid-process. You're interrupting the forgetting mechanism by waking before it completes. There's also a psychological component. Your brain is more likely to encode a dream into memory if you give it attention. If you wake and immediately think about the dream, talk about it, write it down, you're essentially overriding the chemical forgetting system with deliberate attention. You're saying, despite the fact that your brain was designed to let this go, I'm marking it as important. I'm paying attention. Some researchers, particularly Deirdre Barrett at Harvard, have found that people who are instructed to pay attention to and recall their dreams actually get better at it over time. The brain can learn to hold on to dreams if you train it to. But why would evolution build a system that forgets its own work? Why would your brain spend a third of your life processing information and emotions only to discard the records? The answer might be that the information being preserved isn't the story. It's the wisdom. Your brain is extracting meaning from emotion. It's consolidating relationships. It's preparing you for social navigation and threat response based on everything you've been through. The dream is a medium. The memory consolidation is the message. And you don't need to consciously remember that medium to benefit from the message. Sleep researchers have found that people who are deprived of REM sleep show deficits in emotional regulation, creative problem solving, and relationship skills. They become irritable. They struggle to think laterally. They become emotionally rigid. The dream processing is essential, but the dream memory, not necessary. In fact, it might be superfluous noise. Every night, billions of people across the world are going through this same thing. Their brains are working, processing, consolidating, preparing them for tomorrow, and they'll wake up remembering almost nothing. But they'll be changed. They'll be slightly more emotionally balanced, slightly more integrated, slightly better equipped to handle what comes next. The dream evaporates. The growth remains. You won't remember flying through that impossible sky. But somewhere in your neural architecture, you've learned something about courage, about freedom, about the difference between fear and excitement. Your brain has woven that wisdom into your emotional core without you ever being consciously aware it was happening. So the next time you wake up and can't quite grasp the dream that was just slipping away, stop trying to hold on to it. Your brain isn't failing you. Your brain is succeeding at exactly what it designed itself to do. It's processing without burdening. It's growing without explaining. It's preparing you for a life you'll live consciously while the most important work happens in the darkness you'll never see. The dream wasn't meant for your memory. It was meant for your becoming.